So today's guest is Julie Gracie, an entrepreneur, sales leader, and coach who has spent decades helping people build confidence, set boundaries, and creating life on their terms. She's been married for over 23 years and she's deeply committed to personal growth. Julie teaches something most people struggle with: how to say no, how to stand firm in their values, and still win in business and relationships. So I'm really excited to have Julie on. Julie, for the first question, many people work hard, but still feel like they're living someone else's life. When did you decide you were going to live life completely on your terms?
Wow, coming out hot with that question. Great to see you, Jordan.
Excited to see you too.
I think I've always been one to challenge the what I'm told to do since a young
That's
age
fun.
of you have to do it this way. And my brain automatically says, "Are you sure?" And automatically looking for other ways to do it. And
Yeah,
here's definitely could be a bad thing when you're a child, but it's a good thing when you're adult because you don't just take it at face value.
yeah,
I'm definitely one of those people that challenge, why should we do it this way? And so many times I've been told this is how you do things. And then once I really dive into it and research it, but what do I actually think? What do I actually want to do? That's not the answer for me. And
yeah,
so, and that's in personal business. It's really getting clear about what do you actually want. When you
yeah.
stop taking in the input of the world, what you're supposed to do, what your family wants you to do, what society says that you should do, what do you actually want? And that is a scary question for people to ask themselves because it's like dare to dream that you could be different.
Absolutely. I talk to my clients all about this whenever we the onboarding call because it's really this idea of being in the Amazon or in the forest, and then one day you lift your head up and you look around and you go, "Am I going the right direction? Am I going where I want to go?" So I just bring that up because so many of us feel challenged by, oh my God, we don't need the car, we don't need the house, we don't need these things unless we actually want these things and we can live a different way.
Yes, absolutely. And I've been there and I think it's a growth process for anyone. I was the okay, the goal is, be a millionaire, have the house, the two kids, the husband, the fancy car, and I put my head down and one day I remember sitting at my counter in my house looking up and I suddenly was like, "Wait, we have these investments and this money and we just got paid out on this." And I was like, it hit me like, "Oh, I think I think I hit $1 million." And I went into my phone and I'm going through it and I look and based on all of our assets, take out all of our debts, I was worth $1 million. And I looked around and I was like, wait, like where's all the staff and like where's everybody cheering? Like look, like I did it. I put my head down and just grind for so long. I had the Texas 6,000 square foot house with the ridiculous pool and the kids and the fancy whatever we had, Escalades and Mercedes and the driveway and I'm like, "Oh, I did it." And for a moment, it was very exciting. Literally moments. And then the next question is, well now what?
Yeah.
Okay. This was everything they say you're supposed to go after and I did and I got it. Um yeah, okay. What's the next thing? And I had to go set new goals. So it's almost like a letdown. And I realized, do I actually want these cars?
Yeah.
No, I really don't care. Do I need this massive house? It's nice. I was really happy when I sold it and made 300K, tax free on it. Um, but it's just you follow what society tells you to do. And if you
Yes.
don't know, that's kind of a guideline. But then when you really start saying, what do I actually want? What actually means
Yeah.
something or has value to me?
Yeah.
That's when you really start to step into that confident life and you don't have that anxiety of like burnout because I'm very clear about where I'm going and I'm
Yeah.
doing it for what I want, not what anybody else tells me I should be doing.
Yeah. That's amazing. And what made you kind of reevaluate that? Like obviously you had that incredible moment of hitting it, and then you start to realize that, is this actually what I want? When did you start to realize that?
I realized, Jordan, that I had everything that society said should make you happy. And I realized I wasn't.
Wow.
And I had guilt. And I'm not one that feels a lot of guilt, Jordan, let me tell you. And I was like, I felt guilty. Like, why can't I be happy? And then I started really putting myself down mentally. Like, what is wrong with you, Julie? Why can't you just be happy? You
Yeah.
have this amazing house. I have the most
Yeah.
amazing husband and the kids and the cars and the financial security.
Yeah.
I checked all the boxes that I was told that I'm supposed to check,
Yeah.
but I just didn't feel happy.
Yeah.
And I kept trying to get myself like, no, you have this, be happy, be happy. And it wasn't that I wasn't grateful. I was grateful. That's the
Yeah.
difference. There's gratitude and then being happy. I was grateful for everything I had, but I just felt a little lost in my purpose of like,
Interesting.
this is what, this is it.
Yeah.
Um, and so then, of course, my very patient husband, I was like, yeah, we're getting rid of the cars and we're selling the house. And he, of course, didn't love that path, but I'm really good in sales, so I sold him on the process.
Yeah.
And it's almost like we invested all that money and we went broke again, right? Not
Yeah.
broke, but like I have to keep working and I had
Yeah.
purpose again.
Yeah. Because it gets you in, it completely changes your mindset. And it gets you to this
Absolutely. And then
place.
I started coaching and now I'm pouring into people. Now I'm my sole focus of my day is giving. As
Yes.
a business coach, I'm giving, I'm pouring into people, and it's
Yeah.
such a beautiful purpose. And I
Yeah.
think from what I see with my clients is when they lose that purpose, they
Yeah.
lose that motivation. It's because they're doing too much of the things that they don't enjoy. You know, Jordan,
Absolutely.
you coach people all the time. Like sometimes you're a salesperson or you can be like an operations person.
I was I was just reviewing that. I was reviewing sales calls and I was realizing how much do I coach for sell versus this, that. And it becomes interesting because it's like what is really someone's challenge is are they sold on themselves? And with a lot of the clients you work with, how do you know if someone's sold on themselves, or how do they even start to think about that? Because a lot of the stuff we do for this podcast is we have the audience where we ask questions, and then it kind of becomes action steps for them that they can take. Like, so if someone's evaluating if they want to be sold on themselves or if they're going through this process, how could they think about that?
Yeah, and it's we overcomplicate it, Jordan. And again, over like I've coached hundreds and hundreds of coaching calls, and there's a pattern. I like patterns, I like facts. And the pattern that I see is that they're not clear about where they're going. So they start down a path and it feels uncomfortable, which it's going to feel uncomfortable. But when it feels uncomfortable and not clear where you're going,
Yes.
then that's when the anxiety comes in, the what am I doing? And it becomes really easy to turn around and go back to where you started. And you get the joy of saying, well, I tried, right?
Absolutely.
Well, I tried it. Did you though? Did you actually try? And that takes some accountability, tucking
Yeah.
in the ego a little bit. And that's why what you do, Jordan, and I do being business coaches is helping them with those next steps. We have clients that are so talented. I've got people that have landscaping companies, roofing companies, construction companies, concrete companies, and these guys are so talented. And it's not for lack of hard work.
Yeah.
Trust me, when they need to work, they'll just add extra hours to their day. They'll work Saturday and they'll work Sunday. And
Yeah.
then you guys will work yourselves into the ground. But when you pause and you reach out to a mentor or a coach, hey, how can we help you do this
Yeah.
smarter? Take these things off your plate that don't matter in your business and go after where the real money is in your business so you can take an evening off. You can go to the baseball game with your excuse me,
Yeah.
with your family guilt-free and not be trying
Yeah.
to take phone calls.
And it's not a less than thing because, like you said, there's this pride of I'm constantly working, and but are you working on the right thing? And is there something that you could do that could be way more profitable or work way better? Like, for example, like when I had the intro call with Julie, I sat here and she explained her whole model to me, and I was like, why don't you do this, this, and that? And she's like, Jordan, this is the model that works for me, where I get impact, but I also get the freedom that I'm looking for. And that was a fascinating thing because I feel like there's too many of us that are just I want to chase accumulation of wealth. And then people don't realize, hey, you have life, you have all these other factors, and you want to show up for your family and all these other things, which can be really challenging.
Yeah, one question that I ask when I set up the basically the goals of where are you going? One of the most powerful questions that you can ask yourself if you're listening to this, what are you not willing to give up? So many times we talk about, well, what are you willing to give up? I'm willing to give up, drinking alcohol. I'm willing to give up my favorite Doritos. I'm willing to give up time with friends and work harder. But we forget to ask the question of what are we not willing to give up? And we cross over that line. We end up giving up the things that are the most important to us in our lives. And then that's where we start to actually resent our businesses. And we start to take that energy out on the people around us, your wife, your girlfriend, your fiance, your brother, your sister, and you start getting angry. And you're not
Yeah.
angry with them. You're angry with yourself because you are not setting boundaries for yourself of what you're not willing to give up.
100%. And the boundaries is one of the biggest ones. I remember talking to a client and they brought up one time where they said, the wife goes, whether you make more money or not, we're set. Like you don't have to do the trip. So whatever you're doing, you're not doing for the fam anymore. I just want you to realize that because the family's good. And the person's like, oh my God, I have to reevaluate everything. And that's one of the hardest things for men and women to set boundaries on, especially as entrepreneurs. You're sitting there going, I got to respond to everyone immediately. I got to do this immediately. How does one start to see this skill of boundaries? Because it can be a very challenging one to establish. And then also, people think that they're offending people, being mean, whatever it may be. How do people get past that?
Yeah, well, in regards to relationships, the most powerful thing you can do is get your significant other on the same page. And I'll
Yeah.
tell you this, Jordan, I am married to a workaholic. My husband has a mistress and it's called work. She gets all of his time. He's always on the phone with her. She gets all of his, the best of him during the
Yeah.
week. And when he comes home, I get the leftovers, right? And I know that this is going to resonate with some of your listeners but here's the thing. I need my husband to go give 100% at work every day because this is the beautiful life that we have. So,
Yes.
as a wife, I have to also check myself. Okay, would I like for him to give 20% at work so that I get 100% in the evening? Let's see how that's going to work out.
Yeah.
Right? So, sometimes as you're the significant other, whether it's the husband or the wife, how are we supporting each other? And
Yes.
so when you do your goals, you have to get on the same page. And so
Yes.
I'm sure you have an exercise too, but what I do is I'll go through and say, you need, as the husband, you have to go through what do you actually want from your relationships, from your work, from your health, from your family, your joy. And then your significant other, whether it's your girlfriend, your fiance, your wife, they need to do their own goals for their life. And then you take those and you sit down together and you make a plan together. Because, Jordan, when she can understand why you're working so late,
Yeah.
she knows your goals. It's not because you're ignoring her. It's
Yeah.
not because you're never home to help take care of the kids.
Yeah.
He understands like this is the mission we're on. And
Yeah.
when you can get on the same page, you take out so much of that friction. So I'll tell you,
100.
my husband, again, workaholic, he works all the time. So I had to learn to be okay that he gives 100% at work. And during the week, he comes home, he might have 10% left in the gas tank.
Yeah.
But I guarantee you this, Jordan, he gives me 100% of that 10% he has left.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? And
Well, I
so,
think
yeah,
I think that's really powerful because a lot of us have this expectation of we need 100% all the time, and then there's builds the animosity. It becomes stressful. Absolutely. So I mean, to
yeah,
have those
absolutely.
conversations are the hard ones.
Yeah, and so then I'm like, well, what do I want? Well, as the wife, well, I want his attention. I want
Yeah.
his time. I
Yeah.
want him to think about me.
Yeah.
Well, okay. Do I expect him to read my mind? I hope not. No, no, that would probably not be a good idea. So what do I say? Hey, listen to me. I want us to have a date night once a week. So then
Yeah.
he knows, okay, on the calendar, where is it this week? It's on Friday. And sometimes he'll work from home on a Friday and I'll just walk into his office and I'll just be like, hi, by the way, you need to be done by 5:30. I'm going to be in the kitchen. I'm going to be ready. You're going to take me out to a nice dinner, tell me I'm pretty, and give me all the attention that I want. He'll be like, absolutely, done. It's some, I'm just, it's sometimes it's just that simple,
Yeah.
right? We overcomplicate it. Would I love for him to be thoughtful and do romantic surprises? Okay. Or should I just say, hey, these are the things I would like to do? Help the guy out, right?
These are
He's
the answers to
busy.
the test. These are the answers to the
Yes,
test.
exactly. These are the answers to the test. Feed me and tell me I'm pretty. I mean, it's pretty simple for me, but it's different for everyone, right?
I mean, it's so true because then people are sitting there, they're second guessing. They're not sure if the relationship's going well. There's a constant, are we working? Are we not working? Is this good? Is this bad? I don't know. And
Yeah.
it's like, how can we make this into a good place? And for you, Julie, I know a challenge for a lot of people is, as a woman, is wearing multiple hats. And just
Mhm.
men wearing multiple hats of the husband, the wife, the this, the parent, the that. How do you manage that? And how do you think about these things in regard to setting up like where you are boundary wise, but also setting up like, hey, I'm gonna go be mom today, or I'm gonna go be wife, or I'm gonna go be
Absolutely. It's again getting very clear about what your priorities are. And so when I did a talk to a group of women, the
Yeah,
majority of the women were mothers.
yeah,
And they were saying like I'm stressed out, I don't have time to do all these things. And I told them one thing. I said, okay, you have children. I want you to get down eye level with your child and say, I can't spend time with you today because I chose to say yes to someone else. And I had half the room in tears.
wow,
And it was a little bit of a punch in the face to them. I'm like, that's what you're telling your child. So,
yeah,
how do we fix that? Is
yeah,
that you're saying yes to too many things? We want to do all the things. I have a list of things that I want to do in my life and accomplish, but what do I need to work on right now? And what things can
yeah,
I say I'm willing to give up? Right? I don't have a big friend group and I'm going out with my girlfriends and playing tennis and I don't have that. It's okay if some women do. I don't have that. Why? Because my priorities, I have so much time and I have to really be clear about where I'm spending that time. And
absolutely,
so we tend to say yes to everything and then we're stressed out. And here's the thing, does my husband want the, stressed out, anxiety ridden version of me? No,
yeah,
he deserves better. I
yeah,
deserve better. My children do not want the angry mommy. They don't
yeah,
want the stressed out mom of the, oh, and I'm rushing. Nobody wants that. And
yeah.
the only person creating that is you. And the same with
Interesting.
my husband, same with
Yeah,
guys. Oh, I'm working so hard and I'm so stressed. You are doing that, not your job. You have to take full
yeah,
responsibility for that. And if you can't figure out how to manage that, that's why there's coaches. That's why there's mentor. I guarantee every athlete you love, whether it's Larry Bird, Michael Jordan, Michael Phelps, Serena Williams, any of them, they all have multiple coaches for their entire lives. They're not so, I mean, there was a joke, imagine being Tom Brady's quarterback coach. Like, what are you going to teach him? No, I guarantee Tom Brady needs his quarterback coach. So when you're
it's
overwhelmed and you can't figure it out, get a
it's
get a mentor.
yeah, yeah, absolutely, and it's kind of a joke of like, how could the court? What you guys don't realize is there's different perspectives. So you're looking at someone who's like, I'm doing my best. I'm doing all I can. And even before this, like Julie's amazing. Even before the call, I've done so many podcasts, and Julie's like, well, I mean, if you want a little advice, like maybe here, like it wasn't unsolicited. I was kind of like asking for it, but it's just when you get around better people, it starts to raise your environment. And when you get around mentors who are like, Jordan, come on, you're better than that. And like in my normal friend group, no one would realize. But in this other realm, people realize and it starts to come up and people do notice these things as you're trying to up level. And these challenges happen to all of us. And it's just you need to have people who have an outside perspective who are unbiased, and that's why a lot of the people I talk to about business are no one in the realm of like, hey, if Jordan gets this, this is good for him or bad for him. I just want the best for Jordan, and that's why I try to look for that a lot of the time because you want people incentivized in your corner. It helps a lot.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And I mean, for you, how long have you been involved in coaching? How did you even get into coaching? Because I know you could share a little bit of that story because it is really quite interesting.
Yeah, so I was selling real estate in Southern California and doing really well. And here's the thing, I went in almost with an innocence, and I had this old school team leader, and he would curse, and he was just like, here's the steps, you do it. This is your path to success. And I just followed what he told me to do.
Yeah,
And I think there might have been 20 of us, it's new agents that started, and I was one of the very last ones, but I started selling real estate at a high level right away. Why? Because I went and got a mentor,
yeah,
right? And then I had everyone coming to me of like, Julie, teach us your ways. What are you doing? And I'd say,
yeah,
well, let me look at what you're doing. And I would give them advice.
yeah,
And then the next person and the next person. And they started becoming more successful where then, okay, Julie, I want to meet with you every week. I'm like, okay. Because I loved it. I loved it. I
yeah,
loved mentoring them. I loved that I could share what I had learned and they would go and find success with this. Well, then that started mentoring for a long time to where I was like, oh my gosh, I can't take any more calls because I wasn't charging for it. I wasn't charging money. It was just like I'm helping,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
And then realizing, okay, this is actually an area that I thrive and I
yeah,
have a lot of success. So I wanted to talk about tucking your ego. I want to tuck my ego in. I knew I was highly successful in sales,
yeah,
but I'd never taught sales as a coach, like as a
yeah.
business. So then it was like, where can I learn
Well,
this?
before that, I
Yeah.
think what would be really interesting too is what do you think are like the one, two, three things that a new agent or someone in it could be insurance, it could be real estate, it could be anyone hopping into a new industry regarding sales? Because you mentioned it. You said how you kind of got started, you got some mentorship, and that really helped you. What is maybe like one or two or three things that these people could start to think about as they're going through their journey? Because a lot of them face a ton of challenges. It's a lot of rejection, it's a lot of no's. It's I'm not the expert, but you are the expert. I don't feel confident yet. Like, what are some things that people could think about there?
Yeah, you can outwork your fear. So you got to get the reps in. You got to get the reps in as fast as possible. So what I did is I went to the number one agent in my office at that time and said, I will give you 50% of every commission that I make. I just want to hear the words that you say. And remember, Jordan, everyone thought it was the stupidest thing that I could have done. Everyone was telling me, don't do that. That's a terrible idea. Yeah, no, it wasn't because I learned so fast. My first million and a half within a few
Yeah,
weeks, million and a half, then a million two, then a million three. I was able to actually move faster. And they're like, well, that's a $40,000 check. You're giving up $20,000. I would have never had that
the
$40,000 check without
if
the
this person
mentor.
never came, yeah,
And here's the thing, what I learned, and I before I moved away, I think I worked with him for 6 to 8 months only. But what
I
I learned there, Jordan, has made me
so much more.
so much money. So much money. But okay, so maybe I gave up, I don't know, a couple 100,000 during that time.
But
Yeah, but I have millions now.
the best thing is about that is that they're incentivized. So if you call, they answer. It's not like "Oh, I'm helping out the newbie again. It's like no, no, no. This is my partner. We're in this together. Like
Absolutely. And absolutely. And that's why, and I knew going to the top agent, I had to make it a juicy deal. I had to, we talk about like that stupid if you don't.
yeah,
I'm going to give you 50% of everything that I make.
yeah,
Did that get his attention? Yeah, it did. But like,
that,
oh,
that,
well, they're going to make 10%. Nobody's excited about that.
yeah,
So for anyone new, insurance, real estate, go get a mentor. Be willing
yeah,
to give up a big chunk of your income to learn. Because
yeah,
once you have the knowledge, that's the most powerful thing.
yeah,
And I always say this, Jordan, I know sales so well that
yeah,
I'm not worried about making money. I could, recession,
yeah,
anything that happens, I could walk into any business and I could sell for them. There's
yeah,
such a confidence in
yeah.
that. So if you can learn to sell and get a great mentor, you are on the right path.
Absolutely. So thank you for sharing that. And you start diving into looking for business mentorship and business coaching a little bit more. And how did that go?
Yeah, so I found a program. I literally Googled, number one sales trainer in the world. And there was quite a few that came up.
Of
A
course.
lot of them are about life coaching and
Yeah.
these kind of things. And I was like, okay, this one was stood out to me.
Yeah.
Also involved with real estate, which I was already in.
Yeah.
And I went and humbled myself. Okay. And they said, Julie, why would you go and join this program, spend thousands of dollars to learn this when you already are very successful at sales?
Yeah.
Because I knew I needed to tuck my ego in to reach the next level. What don't I know?
Yeah.
And so I did that, and I did. I could put my I call it put myself through boot camp. And
Well, the big thing there, just really quick, that I want everyone to realize is the way Julie talks is you start to realize skill acquisition is more important than actually what the sale is. So as you start to think about what you're doing and the groups you're joining and the different areas of life you're looking to improve, you're increasing the skill set so that you can use that later on in life. So it's not just like she just used the example of, hey, I got the real estate mentor. That really helped me. The skill grew in selling real estate, sure, but it grew in sales in general and follow up and all of those, which is applicable to everything she does today.
absolutely. And here's the thing, Jordan, and for anybody that's like they're graduating, they have degrees from college, what are companies hiring for? Skills. And I see this across the board with my clients is they're looking to hire someone in their business. You know what they're not asking is what is their degree? They're not a single person. Do they have this skill? Do they
Yeah.
have this skill? And so it is skill acquisition. And I know it's very disheartening. I had one gal, she just graduated in marketing. Marketing. Okay, I'm going to get a marketing job. You have no skill. And she's like, but I know what marketing is.
Well, the
No,
really
you,
funny, yeah, the funny
yeah.
thing is that you're bringing this up is that I actually, and I just got to share this because it's just been on my mind. I got this, there's this new AI software. It's been out for a long time. It's Manus.ai. And I was watching a video and they're like, you got to download it. So I downloaded it, 45-second prompt, and it took 30 minutes in the back end, grabbed my website, did everything, created a one pager for me. There's no need for a marketing person to graduate. Like, it's just not viable.
Yeah. And it's, I mean, and they've spent 4 years of their lives, thousands of dollars. And I'm like, you know, that if you just went over to like a system like high level and got certified,
Yeah.
you could start making $35 an hour and get yourself up to and grow an agency. I mean, I had a gal that in 8 months, I got her making $100,000 marketing agency. And
Yeah.
all she knew how to do was make a Facebook post. I said, she's like, I want to start a marketing company. I'm like, well, what do you know? She's like, I know how to make a Facebook post. I'm like,
Yeah.
well, then that's where we start. And this is a true story. And we took her and I showed her the process, what to do. And in 8 months, she had a $100,000 business. And she had messaged me not long ago of like, thank you so much. You showed me the path. I'm because always once you hit 100, your next goal is 1 million. And she's like, I'm
Yeah.
on my way to that 7 figures. So it's beautiful when you help them see the path of where they're going. Then guess
Yeah.
what? She doesn't need me anymore.
Yeah.
But you have to be willing to invest in the knowledge
Yeah.
so that you don't have to flounder. You don't have to try to do it myself.
It's not stoic anymore. It's not cool anymore to try to do it yourself. It's so much easier learning from somebody else than trying and to say people don't have coaches is crazy. Like everyone's got coaches because like for me, I have this podcast. I'm constantly learning from different people and like you need to find a way in your life where you can get around higher level people. And if that means you got to pay for it or you got to join a group or join a mind, it'll just help you exponentially so much because it
Yeah,
really is
well,
holding a lot of us back.
absolutely. And I'll say this, you touched on something there, Jordan, is people say, well, what is the fastest way? What's the fastest way to connect? I don't know people. It's called pay to play.
Yeah, for sure.
Pay to play. Get in the rooms with around these people. So when you go to an event, buy the VIP ticket, get the upgrade to the front row, go to the back where you get to meet the speakers, join their programs.
Yeah,
So many people that high level that I've connected to, I just went on, how do I join their program so I can get in the vicinity of them and their team? I've done this many times and made sales off of it because I simply focused on getting in their world,
they're also
right?
so much nicer to you as soon as you pay them. It blew my
Well, you
mind.
want them to you want them to pay attention to you.
As soon as you
Why
pay
should they
someone,
pay attention to you?
as soon as you pay someone, they're gonna pay attention. And then the second thing you're gonna do is be the best student you can. And if you're the one who's following up, showing up, engaged on every call, they're gonna like you. They're gonna want to do more for you and they're gonna want you to win because if you're and that's something I've been working on a lot recently, and I think a lot of other people can do that in sales. Like you want to be the number one best person for somebody who's trying to build. Like, so if you can be under people, yes, everyone wants to do their own thing. I love that. But I think at the same time, like your thing can help other people in their thing. That's how a lot of this works. What do you think about
Yeah.
that?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we also teach like your network is your net worth. And the higher you get up in your net worth, the more important your network is.
Yeah.
I say the tale of two billionaires.
Okay.
I have worked with one billionaire and very close in another area, another one. One
Yeah.
is very outgoing, very audacious. And the other one, you will never know who he is. He could sit next to you in a restaurant and you would never know. Doesn't want the attention, very much under the radar, but both have businesses that you could do a lot of business with.
Yeah.
So, how do you reach them? Right? You, it's the same for both. You have to find out. It's like they're in the middle of the circle. There are many layers around
Yeah.
them.
Yeah.
So how do we start getting closer and closer into those inner circles, into their team?
Yeah.
Who are their people that are guiding them? How
Yeah.
do I get into their worlds, which then gets me a step closer to that person? Because a lot of times when you have the CEO or the multimillionaire business owner, they're not actually the decision maker.
Yeah.
They have someone, they have their right hand man or their right hand girl. That's actually a decision maker. So you're trying to
Yeah.
get to them. You don't need to get to them.
Yeah.
They have a team to make those decisions for them,
Yeah.
right? So how do I it's when you look at sales, how do I just get to that maybe second or third ring of people
Yeah.
to connect and make sales for my business?
It's also much easier because they don't get as much attention. So there's more ways of getting into them, I think, sometimes.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, I'll tell you, I coached for 3 years for a guy named Grant Cardone.
Yeah.
And everyone was like, "Oh, so excited! Grant is great." I have nothing negative. He is fantastic. I learned so much from him. I mean, meeting with him every month. You have Grant meeting with Grant Cardone. You better have your stuff together.
Hmm.
He
A
is
lot of
no BS.
accountability.
A lot of accountability, a lot of high pressure,
Yeah.
right? But when you wanted to go, for example, you wanted to go to his company, like, I want to work with Grant, you're never going to get to him.
Yeah.
Very rarely, unless you already have multi-million dollars and it's a real estate deal and his right hand man is going to be like, hey, you should talk to this person. And that right hand man is named Jared.
Yeah.
So he's the decision maker. And then behind that is there's a female in the background that you probably never see. And she is the bulldog of the entire organization. That's somebody else you have to get by, but not him.
Yeah.
You're never going to meet with him. So um, it's just interesting when people are like, I need to make sales. I need to go after this. The people surrounding that person you're trying to get to are probably the actual decision makers.
Yeah. No, and it makes a big difference. And if you can win over them, then you'll win over all the people. Because a lot of people they have their trusted advisors, and if they like them, then it's game on.
Mm-hmm.
So at Edwards Consulting, we have five pillars. It's mental health, physical health, community service, philanthropy, spirituality, and relationships. So for you, Julie, mental health today. And the reason I do this is because I've been doing this the past like probably 50, 60 episodes with people, but it humanizes them a lot and it helps me understand their habits and areas where they can improve or where they're doing amazing. And I'm like, oh, I got to do more of that. So mental health wise, on a 1 to 10, just today, how are you feeling and kind of why?
So I'm going to tell you this. It's 10. And here's why I can say my mental health is a 10 is it's intentional.
Yes.
I'm intentional about my mental health. If I don't start out my day focused on me and my mental health, gratitude, taking care of my body, I've already done a crazy workout. My arms are actually shaking right now. I take care of me first and my mental health and get myself right before I take my energy into the day.
Yes.
So it's a beautiful way to start the day. And again, we all have some good days and bad days. And let's say you wake up and you're like something feels off and I just something happened. I mean, I'll tell you, I went to go get my coffee. The coffee maker had overflowed this morning, Jordan. You know what it's like? Coffee grounds and water are everywhere, and I've got stuff I've got to get done, and you're just like, this is so frustrating. And trust me, my it's not like I have this perfect morning routine. There's terrible things that happen all the time. My dog runs outside, runs through the mud, runs through the house, and you're just like, oh my God, seriously, I can't handle this today.
Yeah.
But because I do have the foundation of gratitude
Yeah.
and taking care of myself first, it helps me handle all the other things.
I love
And in
that.
that, oh, well, coffee maker just overflowed. Okay. And then I joke with myself, well, I am grateful that I can make
Have
myself
this
another pot of
problem.
coffee, right? My dog ran through the house, mud everywhere. Well, I'm grateful that I have a dog that's so sweet and I have a little robot. I can push a button that'll come mop it all up because I'm not going to do it myself, right? So it's that pausing when those frustrating moments. And so that's why I believe like it's usually a 10, 9, 10
Yeah.
every
I
day.
love that. No, I think it's important for people to realize because a lot of people that I speak with do not prioritize themselves. They're giving, giving, giving to everyone else, and they go, "What about me?" And it's like, you can't forget about you. You're pretty important. You got to
Yeah.
put your oxygen mask on first. So, physical health. How do you feel on a 0 to 10 in physical health?
9, 10. I mean, if I can get in the gym, I put a gym in my house. Why? Time. Saves time. Plus,
Yeah,
I don't need to go and socialize and talk with people. That's not where my clients are. I
yeah,
just
yeah,
want to bang out a workout at home. I can do it barefoot in my pajamas if I want to, but I get a
yeah,
really
yeah,
great workout in at least 3 times a week. And
yeah.
here's the thing too, if I find that I don't get it in, then I stop and reassess why. Was I lazy? Accountability here. Was I slacking off? Or did I let things creep into my schedule? Or was I actually so busy, like making sales and growing? Okay, then reassess. Let me get back in. I don't have the guilt of, oh, I couldn't get in the gym. It's not useful. So,
You move to the problem solving dynamic of like, how are we going to get this done?
very quickly, yes.
Absolutely. And I love that you actually have a review because there's very few of us who are like, I made it 3 days this week. It is what it is. And it's like, no, no, no. Like, what are we going to do to improve? Like, how are we going to be more proactive about this? I think that's important. I think community service, philanthropy, how do you think about that? Some people are like, it's all for me. Some people are like, I'm not sure. But I mean, you do have communities that you are building. So,
Yeah, absolutely. And giving back is important. And, whether that's giving back to your community and like working in a food bank, or
yeah,
whether that's giving back that I do free mentoring for
yeah.
business owners that maybe are just starting out and can't afford it. So whatever you can give. Um, but also, I find people, they go and they give at the detriment of themselves, especially my Christian entrepreneurs. And I get the heart. They want to lead with heart. And so a lot of them I coach, it's a mental shift of yes, you want to give, but do you want to give $10 in an hour of your time to this organization, or can we go help you build your business and you can donate a whole new wing to their building, right?
Wow.
What
No,
what
this
type
is this is fascinating because I actually have a buddy of mine. I never connected it, but he's in his faith, and I mean he literally trains these people 3 to 4 days a week, and he was doing 5 days a week. Never took a dollar, never even asked for a dollar. And I was like, brother, you should be charging like this is 30 days in a row, every day, Christmas, New Year. Didn't care, showed up, and I'm like, you gotta charge, man. And he's like, I don't know. And I'm like, that's fascinating that you brought up that.
Yeah, and look, if they're like I'm good in my life, I'm taking care of my family, my bills, myself, then absolutely go. And we need people that give. We do.
Yeah.
But that is the challenge that I have to get my big givers to wrap their brain around of what you're trying to accomplish. Yes, but I want you to go left before you go right. And they
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
just want to go right. And then guess what? They struggle financially, their children struggle, their spouse struggles,
And it
and
can be so avoided. It can be
they can
so
be so
avoided.
avoided. But I'm giving. Why? Because they get the dopamine rush. They give the fulfillment when they're giving.
Yeah,
And yeah, it's a challenge for some of my clients and it's some of them I can get through to, and some of them
it
they're
is what it is.
they're
Yeah, no,
always going to live in that struggle.
I appreciate you bringing that up. And then the other big one is just realizing that you have value. Like I think the other thing Julie brought up that's great is that we all have value, and that means that we can give back in that way. Like whether you're a speaker, whether you're an accountant, whatever it is, you can find people who are underprivileged and help them along that journey as well. And now relationships on a 0 to 10, how do you feel about your relationships? This could be family, friends, whatever you want it to be.
11.
11.
No, I mean, look at me. I've been with my husband for 23 years. Anybody
Yeah.
married that long, that makes me sound ancient. Yes.
No, not at all. Not at
It's
all.
I got married at 10. So it is. Anyone knows that it is, there's ups and downs of that. But we've always had this like pact in
Yeah,
our relationship. It's you and me against the world.
I love that.
Anytime there's a disagreement, hold on, hold on. We never go after each other personally. Wait a minute. It's you and me against the world. It's you and me. There's a problem. We have a disagreement. But that's this disagreement is something over here to the side. It's not you. It's not me. It's over here. And you
Yeah,
and I are going to figure out how to tackle this problem together.
yeah,
Because we don't fight against each other because that's just fighting against yourself and that's just moronic,
yeah.
right? So,
No, I like
another
it.
question I ask every morning is, what can I do to support you today? If you're
Yeah,
listening and there's one thing you can do in your relationship, wake up, go to your significant other and say, what can I do to support you today? Do
yeah.
that for 30 days.
I love that because it's gonna be applicable. Like you're not sure what to expect from them. They're not gonna say like save the world. It's gonna be something that where there you actually get to learn from them. And the other big part I really like is, like you said, a lot of arguments are you said that, you did this, you. So when you turn it to I, so then it's like kind of on yourself. But then when you also just remove that and you just move it over, and now you have your environment, I think that's really powerful stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. And I could go on about because here's the thing, I'm competitive and I win. Before I
Yes,
got married, I went and interviewed about 20 couples and said, "Tell me what I don't know. Tell me what I don't know."
that's
Because I was
it.
like, I am not because if divorce is a 50-50,
Yeah,
well, I'm going to be on the 50 that stays together. So there's
yeah, yeah,
something I'm going to figure this out because I win.
yeah, yeah.
So I was true story. I went and interviewed about 20 couples and I was like, okay, what's the pattern? What's the pattern of what they're saying? I like data.
Yeah.
And the number one thing was don't forget to be husband and wife when you're mom and dad.
I have heard that.
That
I
was the
have heard that.
number one thing that I heard over and over and over again. And just the other one would be the difference between men and women and how we communicate. You know, when
Tell
I
us
would go
real
to my
quick.
husband and he'd be like, "Oh, I'll fix it. That's not a big deal. Just do this." And then he wonders why I'm angry. But he thinks he just solved the problem. And so he had to learn to say, when I come to him and I'm struggling and I'm upset, to be quiet. Don't try to solve my problem, even though in your brain it's an easy fix. The only thing you really need to say is, that must be challenging for you. Is there anything I can do to help you?
Yeah,
And he would. And then he knows, unless I ask for your help, don't try to solve my problem. Even though
yeah,
every part of him, especially as a man, you're fixers. You want to fix it.
yeah,
But it's going to have the opposite effect because then you just simplified my problem, right? And so the
yeah,
same thing with communication with him. Don't overcomplicate what you're asking,
yeah,
right? Don't expect him to read your mind. I want a date. Honey, 6 o'clock tonight, you're taking me to dinner. I'm going to have on a nice dress. I would like to have a margarita, and you're going to tell me I'm pretty and give me all of your attention. Okay, great. Keep it simple for him, right? Make it easy for him. He's a busy
yeah,
guy.
yeah.
So that communication is everything.
No, that's awesome. I love the examples, and I'm glad you shared that because it does get you thinking a little bit. And then the final one, spirituality. Some people think this is something else, or I mean, it's whatever you want it to be.
Absolutely. I'll say this, and I did this with my daughters when they were growing up, is driving them to school. We'd just say, look, we have the sunrise every morning. And I say, look, the sun rose again today, and we're still here. So there's a reason. I believe there is a purpose. You are still here. When you no longer have purpose here, you won't be here. So every day I wake up and before I even open my eyes, I take a deep breath in and I show gratitude of like,
Yeah,
okay, my purpose is not done. And every day, whether it's just I needed to say a kind word to someone that was having a rough day, It could be the smallest of things or the biggest of things.
Yeah.
But I just believe that everybody's here for a purpose, and every person that you cross has a purpose in your life, whether it's for, a minute or a lifetime. You give a
Yeah.
great example about what your mother taught you.
Yeah.
And I think that's what resonated to me whenever I heard that on your
Yeah, it was
podcast.
the reason it's a reason, a season, or a lifetime. And it was funny because my mom listens to a lot of these, but she had a friend and her friend my mom doesn't she travels a little bit more, but not that much. But her friend is like 120 countries, gone out, lives in Switzerland, travels all the time, and they would always say to each other whenever they were seeing each other because it was so like sporadic. It's like a reason, a season, or a lifetime because they decided to choose a lifetime together. Just
That's
being
awesome.
friendship and like they always do that cheers whenever they see each other. So it's a cool thing that yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So when it comes to spirituality, I mean, I believe we have a purpose of being here. And the more aligned with your purpose, the more excited you are for life.
Yeah,
And if you're not excited for life and you just feel kind of lost, there are steps you can take. Number
yeah,
one, get a mentor. Help, you know what I
yes,
mean? Speaking of spirituality, I teach this too, is that God can't steer a parked car. God cannot steer a parked car. You're sitting there, you're stuck. What do I do? Don't know what decision. How do you expect to get guidance until you start moving? The first step is
yeah,
actually to move any direction,
yeah,
start moving. And then, whether it's a higher being, the energy of the earth, whatever you believe, can
yeah,
start guiding you where you want to go.
yeah,
But you gotta take the first step. You gotta start moving.
absolutely. Yeah, I think I love that because I think there's so many of us that are just missing the world because we're like, no decision's a good decision. And it's like, that's still a decision, sir. Like, ma'am, that is still a decision. You still decided on something. So, Julie, tell us what's going on with the boot camps. What's going on with April 7th? What's happening there? Where can
Yeah,
people learn more about you
absolutely.
too?
Yeah. Speaking of mentors, if this resonates with you and you're like, okay, I actually am a little lost and I probably could use some guidance, I have a business builder boot camp. It starts April 7th. It is 4 weeks. And then, of course, you can upgrade, which you get more access to me. I dive into your business, a little VIP, to help guide you. Because again, if you don't have a mentor, find one. I have this opportunity coming up. I would love to work with you. I've helped guide dozens and dozens of business owners and build their businesses, some from zero to millions in their first year. Someone that knew how to make a Facebook post only to 100K in 8 months. And I have many other clients like that. So get a mentor, get into a group where you can grow, right? We
Yeah,
all need to be. I have a coach. I've
yeah,
always had a coach, whether it was in sports, life, even as a business coach myself. You have to have someone outside of you guiding you
yeah,
where you want to go. And it's the first part of the year.
yeah,
How does the end of this year look for you right now?
yeah,
Does the end of this year, you have a clear path? I know where I'm going. I'm going to hit these financial targets so I can live the life that I want. If you don't
yeah,
have that, I encourage you to check out my Business Builder Bootcamp. It is mybusinessbuilderbootcamp.com. You can jump in there. You can certainly follow me on any social media and ask me any questions, but I would love to see you there.
absolutely. Awesome.